We circle back to the Circle City, Indianapolis, historic Hinkle Fieldhouse, and the Indianapolis Regional comes to a conclusion tonight. It's the 1 seed, the defending champions, Carmen's crew, taking on the 7 seed, Fail Harder, in the basketball tournament. A look at the bracket where Carmen's crew and Fail Harder, the winner, will play the winner of the Syracuse Regional, and the 1 seeds have been falling over the last 24 hours. Boeheim's Army falls to We Are D3, and we welcome those who just saw La Familia, the Kentucky alumni, lose to Eberline Drive on a game-winning 3. But here courtside at historic Hinkle Fieldhouse with the 2-time All-Big Ten guard, Jordan Taylor. I'm Neil Sika, here to have some fun. Great to have you with us. Carmen's crew, Jordan, they know this scenario. They are heading towards a regional final again. They're the defending champs, but standing in their way, a giant killer, Fail Harder, who's handled their business against 2 alumni teams already here in Indianapolis.
Yeah, Carmen's crew, they know what the deal is. They're reigning champions right now, not the normal crew. They do have returners from last year, but no Jared Sullinger, no John Diebler, no problem. They do have Coach Leon Rogers, and he's doing a heck of a job. They're grinding games out. He mentioned when they play high IQ basketball, they can get it done. They've been getting it done on the offensive glass. Scott Thomas, the first game, it was Jamel Morris and Keyshawn Woods in the second game. It'll be fun to watch for them today.
They grind the wins out against Green Machine and then Fort Wayne champs. Desante Bradford had the Elam ending winner. Speaking of a great Elam ending winner, Fail Harder led by 12 heading to the Elam ending portion. This tip back in by Jordan Walker wins it. They survive after All Good Dogs had 2 great looks, but they played a great game throughout and controlled the majority of the affair.
They've been good the entire tournament. It's been a team affair, but we know who the guy is on Fail Harder. It's Darius Adams, the Chinese basketball legend. He's a prolific scorer. He drives the engine on this team. But what he's done really well this tournament, pass the rock. You see the stat line there, 22.5, 5, and 7, but he's got everybody else involved. He's leading the TBT in assists right now.
24-7 and 5 last night for Darius Adams. Let's take a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by Buffa Louise. Adams with Walker, Henson. Jesse Bingham has hit timely shots in this tournament so far through the first 2 games. Fail Harder upsetting Assembly Ball, and then All Good Dogs last night. And for Carmen's crew, it's been a blue-collar approach for the team that adorns scarlet, white, gray, and black. Chris Crawford and Desante Bradford are really the alpha dogs when it comes to the offense, but there's no William Buford, there's no Jared Sullinger, familiar names to Ohio State fans. Sullinger, the MVP last year, but he still has a big hand in this group. One of the GMs for Carmen's crew, 44-year-old Jeff Gibbs wins the tap for Carmen's crew, and we're underway. The 1-7 matchup here in this Indianapolis Regional Final, and Gibbs mad at himself because he had the backdoor cut there for Eric Neal, but overthrew him.
Yeah, a little double move. Carmen's crew going with a little football play. Ryan Day somewhere smiling, just couldn't connect. A little off timing, but a good start there execution-wise for Carmen's crew.
Great active hands for Neal with a theft for Carmen's crew. They've controlled games throughout, but watched their opposition nibble back into each of the first 2 games here in Indianapolis. We've been blessed with some great basketball here on this floor throughout the last 3 days. Scott Thomas to Neal. Working against that zone of Fail Harder, and Bradford missed the mark, but there's the one-hand board for Gibbs, who's a monster inside. He was last night in the semifinal and scores the opening bucket.
He documented all tournament. Jeff Gibbs is 44 years old, 6'4" at best, playing the 5. Keep an eye on him. He's a little hampered with the lower leg injury, but he's been doing this a long time, and he's a warrior. Gets on the offensive glass right there.
Chua down low. Great hands again from Gibbs, who's in the spotlight already. It will stay with Fail Harder. Multi-sport star at Division III Otterbein in Columbus. Grew up in Westerville. What a career for Gibbs, and also overseas playing basketball. Adams hits a 3. Darius Adams He is a supernova from outside in his career in China. He could go 1A, 1B. Stephon Marbury and Darius Adams over there the last 20 years. A miss from Thomas on the three, and Adams up floor for Fail Harder. Goes again. That's off the mark. Adams still down. That was tipped last by Scott Thomas, who grew up just outside of downtown Columbus in the Delaware area, just north of the city. Great collegiate career at Bowling Green and then overseas, especially in Belgium.
And that's been the story for Fail Harder the whole tournament. They started first quarter slow because of shot selection. You see the two differences in shots there, one off the dribble handoff and one a pull-up as Adams gets his rim there. That's a high-quality shot. That's when Fail Harder's at their best with those dribble handoffs, ball movement, and body movement.
He's got the first five for Fail Harder. Neal pops a three, in and out. Jaimin Henson.
Coach Leon Rogers a little incredulous right there. He talked about before the game, high IQ basketball. Carmen's crew will be all right. It's not the shot you want. Pull up from Neal.
Screen on the outside for Henson, who just re-signed in Slovakia this afternoon. He's going to pull again from the top. Got it. Great start for Fail Harder. 8-2.
Nothing like a good feeling of signing a new contract. And you know you got a little money coming into the bank account. He's trying to get some more, helping this team to this TBT championship.
Everyone's trying to fill up that bank account with the $1 million prize at the end of the tunnel. There's Thomas with a nice move inside.
And that's how Eric Neal has to play. He has to be the engine in terms of creating, comes off the ball screen, draws two, creates the closeout for Thomas, and he knows what to do with it.
Adams contortioning himself, drawing contact down low. Chuck Jones, Steve McJunkins, Antonio Perry are our referees.
And Darius Adams, we talked about the dribble handoff, same play out of the fake flex into the dribble handoff, and he gets downhill as the C parts. And then you see somewhere a paint touch and a kick out off the offensive rebound. And Jaimin Henson knocks it down. Fail Harder is clicking on all cylinders. First time this tournament that they've started really well in the first quarter.
Decatur, Illinois native, 36-year-old Darius Adams, who has not missed a free throw. He's 15 of 15 now in the 3 games for Fail Harder. Top scorer in China and in Germany. A finals MVP over in China. Darius Adams, the real deal. This is Thomas with a good look. In and out. He was hot the first game, cold the second for Carmen's crew.
Really happy with that possession though for Coach Rogers.
Henson looking to make it splash. Gibbs rebounds for Carmen's crew. Chris Crawford played for Team Memphis State several years ago. A go around with Carmen's crew and hits splash on the fadeaway from the wing.
Concerted effort early on, 3 or 4 paint touches, and if you're Carmen's crew, you love it because Chris Crawford and Bradford, those are the alpha dogs, but they haven't had their best games or played their best basketball yet.
Walker, the hero last night with the tip. Carmen's crew thought they had a takeaway, that it touched the sideline. Down to 8 on the shot clock. Adams, great pass off for the smash. Bingham coming through on the baseline.
We saw something similar to that last night in the Elam ending. Because Fail Harder has so many guards, you can get downhill, you're in gaps, you fall asleep, you ball watch, you give up offensive rebounds and back cuts.
12-6 ledge right now for Fail Harder. A good start for the underdogs, but they fear no one. Leading 12-6 after that miss. Bradford got his hand in the passing lane. This is Henson flashing to Adams. Never shy to let it fly off the mark.
Neal is a little lackadaisical at times. He's reached a couple times on Adams there. A little lazy closeout. Adams misses, but that's not the guy that you want to disrespect, for lack of a better term.
And that's the conundrum. He's got elusive skills. They went a long time with him off the floor last night. Gibbs is rejected by Bingham. And Adams with the hot start continuing, but it's turned over, and now Gibbs has the easy put away on the feed from Crawford after the steal.
Jeff Gibbs with the below the rim finish, man. I'm just proud of 44 still jumping like that. Give him credit. I want to see a dunk though, man. He dunked it this morning in warm-ups.
He said he's hanging it up after this edition of TBT. What a career. Jeff Gibbs bringing Carmen's crew within 4. That's a nice take from Henson. Gibbs rebounding on both ends. This is Bradford. He's an X factor. That's a wobbly move in the paint. got his own miss back, and then defended well with help from Chua on the backside, along with Bingham down low. Inside 4 minutes here in the first quarter. Fail harder. They've been the talk in Indianapolis. Off to a good start. TBT, the basketball tournament, is powered by Puma and by Or Health. Or Health, a daily pill to drink less or quit. And Purple. Purple, less pain, better sleep. A look at TBT Past Champions, brought to you by AARP. Join AARP and get instant access to member benefits. Well, 5 alumni bases can call themselves champs. Carmen's crew has done it twice, including last year. Mesmerizing run in the early years of the tournament, overseas elite. And for Leon Rogers, who's won it as a player, as a coach. Last year as a coach, he was on the 2019 edition. He's a Columbus native, played at Northern Illinois, great career overseas, and really has that coaching acumen that you appreciate in tournaments like this.
Yeah, and a modern day coach. He's just really easy guy to talk to. He still plays back in the Columbus runs. He sets up a lot of those open gyms for pros, college guys, and just has a really good pulse on the squad. Set
up for Jamel Morris, who's been a flamethrower from the outside in this tournament. Hits a 3 out of the timeout to bring Carmen's crew within 1.
Yeah, he had a slow start yesterday from 3 and ended up getting it going.
They say that was in after Adams tried to save it, or that Neal was in. Inside the court sideline, here's Adams. Took a bump, continues to go on. It was turned over briefly by Vic Searles down low, and then Bingham's got the putback for fail harder.
Yeah, Eric Neal was standing out of bounds right there. Somehow didn't get called, but that's what Coach Rogers was frustrated about. You get a lucky break, and you come right back down and turn it back over. In this tournament, you have to capitalize in those situations.
Reggie Kassoon ball. Speaking of flamethrowers from the outside and great personalities, he's on for fail harder, the big 55. Walker thought he got hit on the arm. Unorthodox throw up there toward the board. Some wobbly action on each trip up floor for each team, and now Bradford will settle it down. Carmen's crew trails by 3. Keyshawn Woods, who is the lone Buckeye alum on this roster this season, missed on the sideline 3.
Keyshawn Woods, Jamel Morris were the guys that got it going for him yesterday. Jamel Morris, as you mentioned, top 3 in the tournament in three-pointers made.
Walker missed the mark. This is Bradford. Played at East Tennessee State. Native of the Old Hickory. Can't finish it in tight.
Just hear him on the mic there. Oh my God, he can't believe it. Jordan Walker comes back down. Jordan Walker wilding a little bit with these three-point attempts. He can make those shots. He's played really well, but again, Tyler Neal a little bit frustrated on the sideline with that shot selection.
This is Vic Searles, played collegiately at Ashland, D2, up near the Cleveland area, and then finished at Ohio University. He was a practice player. They added him late. Had some nice plays last night. Dale Harder fans wanted to walk on Woods. They give it away anyway. The last touch goes to Adams. Some helter-skelter play the last 2 minutes or so toward the end of this first quarter. The shooting's gone a little cold.
Keyshawn Woods, even though he turned it over, the versatility, talk to him. He's a point guard, he's a 2-guard right there. He's in the short roll.
Walker, more of the mid-range and more of his game converts.
There you go. That's it right there for Jordan Walker. He's finding his rhythm. He wants to go to this next round, but you know you can't force it. Everybody gets the money. You know, it's a team game, and he wants to play his part. Stay right there. Phil Harder will be good because they need him to perform.
Walker averaged 14 a game in Spain last season. A take from Morris. He can't finish. Soonlall with Adams forcing that up, knowing that Searles was coming out. He wanted the shot. In continuation, that's not going to occur.
Good call by the official there. I think Searles went and put hands on Adams before he went into a shooting motion. Again, Adams being the scorer that he is, tries to manipulate and get the three-point shot.
So he played here at the University of Indianapolis. The 9 in the regular rotation for head coach Tyler Neal either have ties to the city, they grew up here in Indianapolis, or they played their college ball here for Phil Harder. Project put together by Kyle Guy, the MVP of the NCAA tournament in 2019 when Virginia won. He's an Indianapolis kid. They find Henson in the middle, and he drops it down through the ropes. Woods won't get the shot away at the end of the first quarter, and Phil Harder, which had seen their lead trimmed to 1, goes on a 6-0 spurt to end the quarter and lead 18-11 over the defending champs, Carmen's Crew. And they keep that alive with a chance to go back-to-back. Phil Harder with other ideas. No Sullinger this year. Carmen's Crew right in the thick of it. Second quarter is next. A look around the country, 5 regional finals tonight, including here in Indianapolis, ready to start the second quarter. But the 5 seed, Next Era Elite, is trying to win in James Madison. And at the bottom of your screen, Elite Nation, which is the 1 seed, another 1 seed that's in some trouble heading towards the Elam ending. And the target score, Best Virginia in Charleston, West Virginia, has the lead late in that game. Preceding us, La Familia, the Kentucky alumni, falling to Eberline Drive, who made the semifinals last year. Neil Sika, Jordan Taylor here at historic Hinkle Fieldhouse, home of the Butler Bulldogs. All good dogs. The alums fell to Fail Harder last night. The jumper falls shy for Kobe Webster to start the second quarter. Carmen's crew trailing by 7. 1 of 7 for 3 in that first quarter. Brooks Harris and Searles out there along with Glass. Mel Morris, who's hit the lone 3. Look to Keyshawn Woods, and he line drives a 15-footer home.
That's what got Keyshawn Woods rolling last night. That mid-range jumper, Keyshawn Gilgis-Woods got it off an offensive rebound. That's his shot. Him and Jamel Morris can get really efficient in that range.
Started in Charlotte, his collegiate career, Keyshawn Woods. He's from just outside of the area, then went to Wake Forest, finished at Ohio State. Kasunlal splash. He's been doing that all 3 games. Making headlines, Reggie Kasunlal.
Oh, that is good defense. Better O. Vic Searles did a great job at guarding the ball screen, closing out high hand. The high release from Kasunlal doesn't see him.
7-footer from Jacksonville, who finished his collegiate career, NAIA Marion. Searles has it ripped from behind by Walker. It's Henson taking it the length. And the lead extended here to 10 for Fail Harder, who's playing with no fear.
That's been a problem for Carmen's crew. Searles had the wide open jumper, a good stunt there from Fail Harder, but tried to be unselfish and ended up with a turnover. He's got to let that fly.
Youngster Brooks Harris trying to generate some momentum for Carmen's crew. To the hole, around the bowl, and down for Brooks Harris. He was fouled too, will go to the line.
Jared Sullinger talked about Brooks Harris as one of the guys who could be an X factor. He hasn't seen a ton of minutes. Coach Leon Rogers mentioned he's wanted to give him some minutes, but it seems like the vets have made some plays that have compromised his minutes. But right there, down 10, he's hard drive to the rim, finishes through contact. Impressive move from Brooks Harris.
And he's off on the free throw, and Kasunlal, who's 6 of 9 from 3 here in the competition, the 3 games, grabs the board. Webster, who's been excellent off the bench, falling away with defense by Jamel Morris.
That's Webster's game right there as well. He's been really good in that mid-range, but good defense by the longer Morris.
Brooks Harris was letting him fly at the shoot-around. He missed. Price was looking to get out on the run out for Fail Harder. Woods recaptures for Carmen's crew. And now they'll stop play.
It's a live ball turnover, so it's to be 30 seconds. Yeah, live ball.
They'll reset that with the explanation coming from our crew.
I don't know if that was Lance Stevenson down on the baseline. Somebody calling for 3 seconds on the Fail Harder side. Nobody was standing in the paint. Yeah, and they're begging like Keith Sweat, but.
You say begging like Keith Sweat?
Begging like Keith Sweat, yeah. You know you want. You ain't heard that song?
Oh, sign him to a recording deal right now. They're begging to have that possession back, Carmen's crew, and Price hits one from the baseline.
Fail Harder's strength, Josh Price and Reggie Kasunlal in the first game. This is what really got them going. Their versatility, both offensively and defensively, mixed with their size, is going to be a tough matchup for anybody in this tournament.
Gibbs backing down on Kasunlal, draws 2. Glass. Gibbs looking to show some range. It's shy. Everything out of sync right now for Carmen's crew offensively. Adams straight away.
Carmen's crew, they came with the effort to back people down, play inside early. Now with Kasunlal, Price out there, and Jamel Morris and Woods, got to put him in screen action, whether it's off ball or on ball.
The 3 from Woods. Doesn't go. Glass the rebound. Hangs in there. Now Thomas comes away with it. Scott Thomas. Nothing's going down from the outside for Carmen's crew. This is one of the questions too, Jordan. They've controlled games. They've been in leads the first two in here, this Indianapolis regional, but who do they turn to now? We've already mentioned the big names that aren't here, but when in a situation when someone needs to take the mantle and start scoring, where do they turn?
Well, they got a couple guys. They need DeSante Bradford to get going, but Jamel Morris is one of those guys who can fill it up quick, fast, and in a hurry as well. They got options. For them, it's going to be about execution and making the right play.
Running it down to the backcourt is Gibbs. Now down to 10 on the shot clock. 9-minute quarters here at TBT. Defending champs, Carmen's crew trailing by 10 here early in the second. Morris in a straitjacket. Price ripped it away. It's a shot clock violation. What defense by Fail Harder, and they have galvanized the crowd. Any partial to the Indy natives here, making some noise after that turnover.
And that's exactly what we're talking about with Carmen's crew. Great defense, hats off to Fail Harder. However, Jamel Morris got to get that ball out of his hands. Scott Thomas, the principal, wide open on the wing. Ball wasn't delivered on time or on target.
Here's Price down the lane, and he finishes with contact.
Josh Price finishing through Tevin Glass. Longer defender, but we talked about that as well. No Jared Sullinger, missing some size down low for Carmen's crew. They're susceptible to finishing around the rim.
6 have scored. It's a 15-4 run for Fail Harder. Morris, defended by Chua. Threading that through, but Glass is too strong. Adams on the run. Price with Thomas back to defend. Did mention Scott Thomas, he's an elementary school principal, but Price, it's right from the wing for 3, and a timeout for Carmen's crew. Fail Harder erupting to a 15-point lead here in the second.
Yeah, Josh Price taking out his do-it-yourself kit right there. Finishes through contact one time. The next time he sees Scott Thomas, he says, "You can't guard me, big dog." There it is, finishing through Tevin Glass. And they're going to go right back to him in transition. Face it up, looking a little KDS. Take that with you, principal. I got some schoolwork for you.
Hey, hey, just keep playing, fella. That's all I can say. Great job. Great job. Stay together. Stick to the play right here. Exactly what you're doing. Just keep playing together. They're tired. They don't want to do this shit. All right, who I got? DA, K.
Yep, Kendrick and Eastman.
Who's my other JP, right? All right, we're just going to do a little stack here, right? Kendrick elbow, DA here. Right? DA, just come over top, kind of like Luke, make your catch. Boom. Kendrick, back screen. Right? Check it. Okay, check it. Kendrick, right into that pick and roll with DA. Okay, roll hard. DA, try to get downhill. Kobe, after you come off, right, as this is going on, JB, just walk your guy in, set an exit screen for Kobe. You might have him, too, when you're getting downhill. Make sense? All right, back.
You said back screen roll, right?
Yep, so back screen for Kobe. Then you're going and playing pick and roll with DA. Roll hard, okay? And then JB, set that exit screen for Kobe after you check for the cut. Boom. All right? Let's go.
Here we go, guys. Don't stop. Here we go. Hey.
Stay together. Stick to the play right here. Exactly what you're doing. Just keep playing together. They're tired. They don't want to do this shit. All right, who I got? DA, K.
Yep, Kendrick and Eastman.
In the huddle, powered by Puma. Tyler Neal, the Fail Harder head coach. A lot of player development for the Cleveland Charge, where he still makes his home. His father, Guy Neal, all-time winningest coach at Bluffton University. That's where Tyler played. Over 300 wins for Guy. And it's come full circle, Jordan. Tyler Neal was saying, I remember we were sitting at a restaurant back in 2002. I was in high school. We were watching the Division III National Championship, watching Jeff Gibbs lead Otterbein to the title. Of course, now playing for Carmen's crew. So there's a lot of cross-pollination. Guys know each other on both sides of the ball here. And shot coming from Thomas is off the mark, and Gibbs goes in to the first row.
You mentioned it, cross-pollination as Gibbs has been on the offensive glass crazy, but basketball world shrinks. But you love the message from Coach Neal right there. Keep it simple, stupid. When it's working, it's working. Really good hands from Chris Crawford right there.
Knocked it off of Darius Adams. Carmen's crew needs to find the offense. They're 1 of 12 from deep. Darius Adams is controlling this game at his pace. Everyone contributing right now for Fail Harder in this Indianapolis Regional Final of the TBT.
We talked about it. It's another opportunity for DeSante Bradford. He hesitates, but Carmen's crew 35%, 21st in the tournament from three.
Gibbs. Thomas is one who can hit him from deep. They need him to get going. Bradford shy. He got the miss back. Bradford all the way in.
We saw Bradford get going in transition yesterday. As a scorer, seeing the ball go through the basket in any way possible is big. But Scott Thomas, again, he's got to let that fly, even though he's struggling. They need him to make shots. They rely on Fail Harder, who collapses the paint, for him to shoot that.
Look at Keyshawn Woods muscle up Josh Price in the post. Josh Price played at Southern Indiana. He went to Shortridge High School here in Indianapolis. Keyshawn Woods, he was telling us earlier today, so many people keep asking me to be a coach. I'm not done playing. Outstanding career over in Iceland. He was the playoff MVP 2 seasons ago, Keyshawn Woods. Walker returns with Bingham and Webster sitting. Jaimin Henson also on the floor for Fail Harder.
Talked about him being the leader of this team. He's got a really versatile skill set. Vocal guy. I mentioned the coach's blood in him, or at least the tendency to want to coach, which is huge, being the only Ohio State alum here. He puts the heart of Columbus in this squad.
There's a lot of native Columbusites, though. Adams with a flash cut. Got bumped off the route. Sante Rogers now. Bradford, rather, into the attack and got fouled just crossing the time stripe.
Definitely some contact there on the cut. Heady play by DeSante Bradford to help out Chris Crawford. He got lost on the back cut, but a lot of contact right there. And then on the other end, it's Henson with the take foul. A European staple right there has now penetrated the NBA.
Bradford, Tennessee's Mr. Basketball once upon a time. You were a Mr. Basketball in the state of Minnesota. Shot falls off from Thomas. He can't buy a bucket the last 2 games.
Gotta keep going, though. That's another good possession. Carmen's crew, they just can't hesitate. They have to stay aggressive. They're getting good shots. You've got to rely on that.
Bradford out on Adams, who looked to make it rain, in and out. Keyshawn Woods. Thomas now to Crawford. 2 minutes remaining in the half. Carmen's crew, the defending champs, the 1 seed here in Indianapolis, down 13. Crawford straight away. That's erratically off. And this will go back Fail Harder's way. Chuck Jones, the referee, calls a foul inside.
Carmen's crew has struggled all tournament long from the field. They're only 43% from the floor. As mentioned, 35% from three. They've only gotten to the free throw line 16 times in this tournament, 17 if you count the one today. So that's the troublesome part, and it's also the impressive part that they're winning games that way.
The nuts and bolts of doing some of the intangibles, defending well in the half court, forcing turnovers. They've controlled tempo. Hard to win, too, when you're playing from behind in a scenario like this where the other things aren't clicking. Price, fall away from 14. Battling inside, chew up. Price missed the stuff back, stays with it.
Josh Price beating up the glass. Fail Harder hasn't gotten a ton of offensive rebounds, about 7 per game in this tournament. Already up at 7 in this game alone, taking advantage of the lack of size from Carmen's crew.
Brooks Harris thought about it. A youngster over for Woods. He's going to step inside the line. That jumper badly missed. He thought he was fouled.
Yeah, same thing, dribbled out of a three-pointer, and mid-range is his game, but sometimes you dribble yourself out of a good shot.
But all fail harder in this first half by 15. Walker adds to the onslaught. Jordan Walker, a triple.
Jordan Walker, that was contested. We saw him take a couple of ill-advised shots, in the first quarter as Chris Crawford gets going a little bit. That one's in rhythm, and when he's in rhythm and on balance, he can fill it up.
The longtime NBA guard Lance Stevenson, the 3-time Pacer who's cheering on Fail Harder on the baseline, encouraging them with every made basket, and a timeout here. Fail Harder leading 35-19. 20 seconds remaining here in the first half. One of 5 regional finals, and the Elam ending with it just going down. Next Era Elite had the lead in that game, but not able to finish the job in the James Madison Regional. And then down in Charleston, West Virginia. West Virginia looking to knock out another #1 seed, and they do on the jumper. Elite Nation, their tournament run is done. Shell Shock came back to win in that James Madison Regional. Here we are in Indianapolis. The updated bracket from the results you just saw. Shell Shock, which was the 2 seed in James Madison. Happy Valley Hoopers, the 1 seed. The Penn State alums lost on the first night. Shell Shock will face Best Virginia Sunday, 9 o'clock Eastern on FS1. Will Carmen's crew be playing on Sunday in the quarterfinals? Let's listen to Leon Rogers.
Coach Rogers saying, win these minutes, win these last 20 seconds. He's big on the little things. You can win these 20 seconds, get a stop, maybe even a turnover. But more than anything, you want to impose your will here, send a message going into the second half. Give your team, give your teammates, yourself some confidence.
Kobe Webster wrapped up his collegiate career for the mayor, Fred Hoiberg, at Nebraska. Taking his sweet old time here with a shot clock dark. Kasoonwall falling away, splash! And the reaction is priceless. And maybe they will be in the money, Fail Harder, when it's all said and done, the way they've played here at Hinkle.
Yeah, Reggie Kasoonwall. A nice little stagger action. The big man pops out, knocks it down. That was good defense, and that's been a lot of that. Fail Harder filling it up from 3, whether it's Jordan Walker, Reggie Kasoonwall, Darius Adams. They ain't failing. They're real successful right now, blowing Carmen's crew out.
Halftime here in Indianapolis, Reggie Kasoonwall, 7 of 10. The 7-footer from Jacksonville, electrifying. And Fail Harder leads 38-19 over the defending champs at half at TBT. Reggie Kasunlal, 7 of 10. The 7-footer from Jacksonville, electrifying. And Fail Harder leads 38-19 over the defending champs at half at TBT. The 7th seed Fail Harder. Some kind of run they've got going here in Indianapolis at Hinkle Fieldhouse. 38-19 in this regional final, TBT 25. Back here courtside with Jordan Taylor, I'm Neil Sika. They're going to have to change the name to Succeed Harder, the way things are going right now. Boy, that was some flawless basketball they pretty much played from start to finish.
Yeah, the energy, the youth, the athleticism, getting out in transition, making shots. You saw how Reggie Kasunlal ended the half. Back-to-back for this older Carmen's crew team seem to be catching up with them.
Well, we'll see what they have in store coming in the second half. Carmen's crew really needs to turn it around shooting the basketball. Halftime stats are brought to you by Purple. Purple, less pain, better sleep. Say no more. 1 for 14 from three-point range. 6 threes hit by Fail Harder. They've got 9 assists, too.
Yeah, and it's the 1 for 14. It's not even that Carmen's crew is getting bad shots. Scott Thomas has gotten good looks. Asante Bradford has gotten good looks. They're just knocking them down. And as mentioned, when you go back-to-back, sometimes it just goes like that, just shake out like that, but hopefully Carmen's crew can recover.
Second half is coming up next. TBT 25 here in Indianapolis. Fail harder, up big.
Dante. We're going floppy with you right here. Coming off. Jeff. Throw it into him. He's going to dribble right back up to you. All right, let's see what we get. Hey. Drawing floppy. Dante throwing it into Jeff. When they come back up, if Dante throw it at you, don't look to shoot. I mean, pass. Shoot. You want to shoot it. You keep passing to guys that, like Chris can shoot, but he's not wanting to shoot. We want to keep creating. And we overplan it. You know what I'm saying? I need you to shoot that ball.
TBT, the basketball tournament, is powered by Puma and AARP. Join AARP and get instant access to member benefits. The iconic Soldiers and Sailors Monument, Monument Circle in downtown Indianapolis. We're about 20 minutes north of there at historic Hinkle Fieldhouse. It's been a historic run so far for Fail Harder, the 7th seed. Lots more in and around Indianapolis, leading Carmen's crew, the defending champs, 38-19, who need a massive run to get back on par here in the second half, or at least get this thing close before Elam ending time, which is inside the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter. Away we go here on the third. Ilsika, Jordan Taylor, also hoping for a run just for the neutrals, so Jordan has to avoid singing again, but we'll do our best.
Don't worry about
I was
it,
impressed,
man.
though. Good job.
Hey, listen, I got a soundtrack coming out. If y'all want to get a pre-release, just let me know.
Same pop,
Don't worry
Dante.
about it. No, but this is the guy right here. It's got to be Neal. It's got to be Bradford, some of the youth.
A little bit of a bunny hop there, a Euro step to score for Neal.
Yeah, they need his energy. They need his playmaking. They need his scoring. He's been solid. They need him, Crawford, and Desante Bradford to find their game to have a chance. And hopefully they dust it off the Bengay back there for my man Gibbs.
He's burning the midnight oil. Last 12 minutes of that first half, Fail Harder outscored Carmen's crew 26-8. They thought they had a steal there, but a foul is called. It is a marvel, though, still watching Gibbs compete at a high level.
It's unbelievable, and the way he plays, too. It's not like he's a smooth scorer. He's a hard worker. He's a bruiser. You see him there, switch out onto the perimeter, stunt back, try and get the steal. He's moving well. Like I said before, I got pain over here just watching him, so shout out to that man, still doing it.
Adams left his feet, got the pass away to Walker. 8 on the shot clock. Opening possession offensively in this third quarter for Fail Harder, and it's a good defensive one for Carmen's crew. Coming away with the rebound. Neal pops a three. What a nice start. 5 quick points.
We started the game like that with a Hezzy three, a little bit more contested. That one's different. It's in rhythm. The defense isn't set, and that's his shot. Gibbs gets a hand on it there.
So the first 5 of the third quarter to Carmen's crew, 38-24. There's Lance Stevenson. He was right in the thick of that celebration, too, in the Elam ending last night. It happened at this basket. Chua, they toss it into him, and the big man can't finish.
There's Neal's game again. Get him a drag screen, little pace. Slow it down, but he's got his rhythm.
Chris Crawford starred in the Basketball Africa League on several occasions, coming out of Memphis.
Like that play set up from Rogers. Didn't execute it well, but they tried to do a loop. As Bradford gets it going. Here we go. Neal, Bradford, Crawford. We talked about it. Those guys starting to heat up. Their first 8 from Bradford and Neal. We got a game, partner. I was finna start singing, too. You got lucky.
Desante Atre called in a favor. 38-27. Fail Harder's lead is down to 11. Neal. Another. Carmen's crew is coming alive, and the defending champs are alive and well, down 8.
Eric Neal, that one is better. Still a tough shot, but you got your rhythm. We'll let you have that one, Coach Rogers said. You love to see it from the jitterbug guard. He can fill it up, man.
An 11-0 run, and then Henson shooting a 3 is undercut on the closeout. This looks eerily similar to last night in the Elam ending time. Fail Harder led by 11 on All Good Dogs, and then we're hanging on right at the end, hoping that All Good Dogs did not hit the game-winning 3 from Weidman, but Bradford and Neal, they've been filling it up from deep here to start in the third.
You see the law of averages. Those aren't the easiest shots. High degree of difficulty, but 1 for 14 on good-looking shots. At some point, the ball's got to go in the basket. We talked about Carmen's crew. Stay aggressive. Stick to what you do. You're the defending champs. You're going to get back in it. But then the three-point shot is eerily similar. The foul, Coach Rogers talked about, the high IQ basketball. We saw it against Go Time Green Machine. They're on a run. They have a silly foul. Yesterday, a foul 40 feet from the basket. And there it is again. That's in this tournament, opens up the floodgates and stops your momentum. Now let's see how Carmen's crew can respond. They got to get a good look here to counter that bad decision.
Jaimin Henson hits 2 of the 3 free throws. Mentioned earlier, he signed in Slovakia this afternoon. Was playing in Finland last season. That's an illegal screen on Gibbs. Chuck Jones quick to make the call, the referee. That's the 3rd foul on Gibbs. Get 5 in the team game here per quarter before the bonus.
A little miscommunication there as Gibbs, you see the moving screen, and I don't know, anytime he gets in someone's way, it's going to be running into like a brick wall, so.
I'm a tight end. That's a chip block. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, a little wedge chip block, but it was the miscommunication on the backside. You didn't see on camera. The play was for Eric Neal, and again, just a lapse in judgment there, fell asleep. That could cost him.
Carmen's crew trying to keep their 5th regional title hopes alive here in Indy. The miss from Henson, the follow from Chua.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4 almost. 1, 2, 3 after the run by Carmen's crew plays. The foul on the three-pointer. the moving screen because you can't get together on offense, and then the offensive rebound because you don't block out. When you're trying to come back, those are killers. And again, they have to have something. This is where without Buford, without Lighty, without Diebler, to your point, where do they go to settle you back down? It can't be a tough shot.
Thomas desperately needs it. It's well shy. 4 straight points now for Fail Harder after that 11-0 run to start the quarter for Carmen's crew. And after a scramble, it will stay with Fail Harder.
Can't be mad at that shot from Thomas. Maybe could have swung it to Neal right there. He's got the hot hand, but we talked about that's a good shot for him. We know he can make it. Don't hesitate. They've been unselfish, which has turned out to be the selfish play at times in this tournament.
Adams comes around the screen, missed it long. Now Bradford to get into the offensive set for Carmen's crew.
Same thing for Fail Harder. That's a tough one.
That's a tough shot to take, too, for Bradford. Well off. Rebound from Bingham. Timely plays in this tournament for Bingham for Fail Harder. Fall away Walker. Gibbs had it, then lost it. It will stay with the team wearing all black.
Yeah, lost control of the rebound. He's so strong. I'm surprised he hasn't popped the ball yet, but just loses it right there. Same thing for Fail Harder, though. You know, you're up 12. We saw this. They had a double-digit lead yesterday that they gave away because of shot selection. You see the tough one from Jordan Walker. Darius Adams, as good as he is, flying off that dribble handoff. That's not an easy shot either. Stick to what you're doing, like Tyler Neal said. Keep it simple, stupid.
Walker through a minefield. Kasoonlal, 7 of 10 from 3, and now throws it away right to us. Took out the monitor.
Carmen's crew, a clear directive from Coach Rogers to run Kasoonlal off the line. They tried it in the first half. He just had the high release. There they got to him. That might be one of the few holes in his game. Turn him into a playmaker, put it on the floor. You see the ensuing turnover.
Neal, native of Dallas, looking to create. Another Euro move to score, and he's fouled. Kasoonlal, a look of disbelief. What a third quarter so far, though, for Eric Neal.
Eric Neal getting in the paint. Good screen by Gibbs. He could have thrown it back to Gibbs. Knows he's not a three-point shooter. Crafty under Kasoonlal. The step through. And Coach Rogers compared Eric Neal in the shoot-around to Darius Adams. Coach Rogers played with Adams in Venezuela early in his career, compared him in their ability to score the ball and shot selection. Darius Adams figured out throughout his career, when you do a little bit of less as a scorer you get to play on good teams. That means better contracts, better situations. Says that's one of the maturation processes that Neal needs to go through. Seems like he's figuring it out here at the right time for Carmen's crew.
He has 9 points all here in this third quarter. Webster, full of steam, going towards the rim, knocked away, and Carmen's crew back off the takeover. Neal walks the tightrope.
Great block there by Cameron Brooks-Harris. And again, Coach Rogers brought them along. David Lighty's a guy who's that Swiss Army knife over time as a defender. Cameron Brooks-Harris is a versatile, long defender. Can make plays offensively and guard multiple positions defensively. You see Neal right there, too. He gets the foul, but this is not the time for him. Stay solid. You don't have to start dancing on people. Keep getting good shots.
Neal tried his luck from the corner. Leads to the run out for Price. Wobbly maneuver up the floor. Webster, Kasoonlal, Jaimin Henson. Fail Harder by 9.
Great transition defense there by Carmen's crew.
Henson straight away. Brooks-Harris rebounds, the youngster from Zanesville.
Huge recovery there by Carmen's crew. That's the one that we're talking about. Neal from the corner, contested. Always an opportunity for a long leak-out rebound, but Carmen's crew bails him out. Matching up in transition. Those are the positive plays that they need from an IQ and hustle standpoint.
Crawford really started to take over in that first game against Green Machine when they needed offense. He missed the 3. Neal amongst the trees grabbed it, and he has been the difference maker in this third quarter. Eric Neal, the diminutive point guard. Carmen's crew up off the mat, inside 10 points here. Tomorrow it's winner go home at the UEFA Women's Euro semifinals as Germany takes on Spain starting at 2:30 Eastern only on Fox. What a comeback today for England in their victory over Italy in extra time. We don't have extra time here, but we have the Elam ending and Carmen's crew hoping to get within striking distance. What a play in this third quarter so far from Eric Neal carrying the offense.
Yeah, Eric Neal trying to give Carmen's crew a new lease on life. Asante Bradford getting in the mix. But we talked about, again, Coach Rogers has coached Neal hard this entire tournament because he needs him to do what he's done over this past 5-6 minutes. Get in the paint. Neal has to understand when you're gifted like he is and you can score, he has the green light, but there's a responsibility that comes with that green light. And you can take the tough shots when you're rolling like he has now, but you got to find a rhythm by taking the good ones first.
He's one of 7 players to return from last year's winners in 2024, Carmen's crew, Eric Neal. There are some Columbus connections for Carmen's crew, even if Keyshawn Woods is the only Ohio State alum. But Scott Thomas echoed in an interview 2 years ago, we all grew up wanting to play for Ohio State if you grew up around Columbus, and now to be able to represent the brand is a dream come true. That's thrown away by Fail Harder, and Carmen's crew gets a little bit closer, down 7 after those Neal free throws, and they've got the ball back.
And Carmen's crew caught a break right there. Tevin Glass fell asleep defensively, not on the same page as Neal. Fail Harder just couldn't execute.
This is Glass. Kasunlal took the charge.
Reggie Kasunlal, he shot the lights out of the ball in this tournament, 7 of 10 from 3. What he has not gotten credit for is his defensive prowess, both in the pick and roll. He's a shot blocker. He's really good at causing decision in the pick and roll right there. He takes the charge at 7 feet.
Kasunlal said he didn't hit his growth spurts until middle school. He was a three-point corner shooter, so the shot developed well before the inside post game. Webster, who goes down, and Kobe Webster is actually yelling at Leon Rogers, the Carmen's crew head coach. He said, "I was kicked by your player in Tevin Glass."
Yeah, great piece of officiating right there. Caught the kick. Tevin Glass trying to pressure Kobe Webster. Carmen's crew in the bonus here, 3 minutes in the third.
15 foul on Carmen's crew, so that leads to 2 shots for Webster. He's a Western Illinois Leatherneck before finishing at Nebraska. Played in Montenegro last year.
Kobe Webster was really quiet in the first game for Fail Harder and then hit some big shots in that second half. Got in the mid-range, some tough threes, and picked up where he left off from the first game into the second game. Been quiet tonight. Getting to the line, his first 2 points. Won't be surprised if he gets going. They rely on him in a big way.
Neal's been the catalyst to this positive third quarter for Carmen's crew. That perhaps a little ill-advised.
And that's the one right there. The game has slowed down a little bit, Neal. He got his free throws. In that situation, you got a ball screen, cause a reaction. You know, you can still get to your shot. Drag the defender out. Make them make a decision. Don't just raise up and bail them out.
Kasunlal, unconscious from downtown in these 3 games. Unbelievable. Glass, going to the glass. It's too strong. He's going to hustle to hopefully get it back for Carmen's crew, but spilled it.
Reggie Kasunlal now 8-11 from 3. Again, Carmen's crew, hand down, kinda. Chris Crawford still got there. And if we had a package of Kasunlal's threes throughout the tournament, about 6 of these threes are contested, sidestep, ran off the line. These are high degree of difficulty threes, so I believe him when he said he's been shooting them for a while.
Webster wants one. Nearly bagged it. Price the offensive board. Brooks Harris gets up to reject. Now he's running the floor, and Brooks Harris contortions himself and scores around the block. One coming at the free throw line, end to end. You were referencing his potential oozing on both ends on that play.
Cameron Brooks Harris, they give up the offensive rebound, gets the block off that, and then runs the floor like a gazelle. Eric Neal feeds him, and a contortionist type finish over Darius Adams. Second time in this game that he's made a really timely play offensively, second and one of the game. Hasn't converted either free throw.
Played at some smaller schools. One season at Marshall back in 2020 for Cam Brooks-Harris. He missed the free throw. Lead is 10 for Fail Harder. They were up 19 at the break. Closing in towards that fourth quarter. Soonlaw in the post. Morris ripped it away.
Really good hands there from Jamel Morris.
Now hopes to answer with a three at the other end, but it's badly off.
He's been quiet this game. I like this lineup here. 3-guard lineup for Carmen's crew.
Adams lets Thomas go by. Very uncharacteristic, wide open, and shoots an air ball.
Really, really bad foul there from Kasoonlaw as well. 90 feet from the basket, fouling Jamel Morris to get him in rhythm. You don't want that to happen.
And to put Carmen's crew at the foul line, Darius Adams, fatigue's allowed on both sides. Remember, he's 36 years old and playing back-to-back games. He played 34 minutes in the first game, too, on Saturday against Assembly Ball for Fail Harder.
Averaging 34 minutes in this tournament, coming off some injuries himself over the past year, so love to see him back out there. He's 2 for 10, 7 points. And we talked about him, spotlighted him at the top of the show, and he's been good. He always is going to draw attention, but again, we have to continue to give praise to this Fail Harder, quote-unquote, supporting cast. Everybody stepping up for them. Really good balance, 9-9, 9-7-5 across the board.
Henson, Price, Kasoonlaw lead the way for Fail Harder. Jamel Morris, cool 2 strokes at the free throw line to cut it to 8. 70 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Here's Adams looking to get back on track, his first points of the third quarter.
He is not getting a friendly whistle in this tournament. I think there was a lot of contact there. Could have called it. Tough finish.
Bradford also rising high at the other end.
Desante Bradford really good. Leon Rogers has done a great job. He goes with Scott Thomas. That's going to pull Kasoonlaw away from the basket. Carmen's crew has to attack the rim here.
Speaking of attacking the rim, Adams is right in his wheelhouse. That's 2 in a row on the drive.
That's a double-edged sword right there. They've put in Scott Thomas at the 5. That means that there's no rim protection.
Back up by 10, Fail Harder. Woods from the baseline. Thomas in a scramble for it. They say it's Fail Harder basketball.
Tough call there for Carmen's crew. Looked like it might have been off Fail Harder last.
And for those who are unfamiliar again with that name, Fail Harder, it comes from a quote from the former Virginia head coach Tony Bennett after they had that historic upset loss in the NCAA tournament in 2018, the first one to lose to a 16. And part of the quote was Fail Harder. Don't be afraid to fail to lead you to better success. And Kyle Guy stuck with that. Jake Mills, they put the team together. And now in their second year in TBT, creating some real havoc. Kobe Webster was tripped on that hesitation dribble drive. 6.2 remaining in the quarter. Fail Harder by 10.
Kyle Guy, Indianapolis basketball legend. And when you get to say that, you're in elite company. This is a basketball city, a basketball state. We've discussed the mediocre movie Hoosiers at length.
I was wondering when you're going to steer back to that.
I was just waiting to get on FS2 to get my rocks off, you know what I mean?
I attempted the Jimmy Chitwood shot today and converted, so I know you were glad about that.
Yeah.
You're like, who's Jimmy Chitwood?
I'm also going to duck when I say a mediocre Hoosier movie in this building. They'll probably look behind me.
Woods with a shot. It's been mediocre three-point shooting, but it picked up for a little bit from Eric Neal in that third quarter, and Carmen's crew is within striking distance, down 11. Leon Rogers encouraging the defending champs who are back in the game after their third quarter. 52-41 to the fourth we go in Indy.
As a reminder, TBT will use the Elam ending at the conclusion of tonight's game. At the first hit ball with 4 minutes to go, the game clock will shut off and a target score will be set by adding 8 points to the score. The first team to use that target score wins.
Saturday, it's baseball night at America, and it's showtime as Shohei Ohtani leads the Dodgers against the Red Sox, or the Guardians take on the Royals. Check local listings for the game in your area. Saturday at 7 Eastern on Fox. Right out of the All-Star break, things heating up in the baseball race, things heating up here with Vail Harder looking to seal the deal against the third school with an alumni base at TBT in its Indianapolis Regional, 52-41. Neil Sika, Jordan Taylor. Well, I know you may not like the movie Hoosiers, but we do have a lot of history in this building. This is the original floor when the facility opened in 1928. The iconic Jesse Owens, an Ohio State alum, set a broad jump record in this building. Oscar Robertson, the Big O, played his high school ball in state championships here. Crispus Attucks High School. Layup for Vail Harder to begin the fourth quarter.
Well, I would never deny the history in the building. Beautiful gym, Hinkle Fieldhouse, special place to play basketball. Vail Harder trying to make some history, knocking off the 1-2-3 seed right here. And that's a mistake by DeSante Bradford. Great job by Tyler Neal out of the quarter, taking advantage of Carmen's crew aggressiveness. DeSante Bradford, you got to keep everything above you, as he knows as a vet. Heady play there by the other vet, Darius Adams.
All right, your head coach, Leon Rogers of Carmen's crew. What are you stressing here in the fourth?
Well, aggressive defense, and then also get good shots. Do what you do. You're champions. Just get a good shot every time down the floor.
Crowd wanted a shuffling of the feet of Morris. It's a very partial Vail Harder crowd. Remember, the 9 players that get the regular minutes all have Indianapolis connections. Webster is left alone, missed the 3. Brooks Harris swats it out, and then Gibbs shot puts that down to Bradford. Kept it alive for Woods. Morris, it ends in a 3. What a play from Carmen's crew.
What's the theme song?
Benny Hill.
Thank you, man. You're always on time, on target for me. Really good play right there. The other thing for Carmen's crew is find the mismatch in this lineup.
Well, you played in England. Of course, you're familiar with that song. What a fall away from Adams on the baseline.
Yeah, showing his scoring prowess again. That's a couple times he's drawn contact and finished strong through it.
Morris runs off that curl. He's comfortable there. It's eliminated by Chua at the rim. Knocked off, last off of Adams of Vail Harder. It will stay with Carmen's crew.
Jamel Morris incensed by the non-call. Tough to see. That was close. I don't know if that got to the glass or not. Right here, if you're Carmen's crew, this is a switch lineup for Vail Harder. Chew at the 5. You want to get some movement and try and attack Darius Adams if you can.
Morris too strong with a 3. And they'll say it's last off of Eric Neal of Carmen's crew. all their entries into the tournament. They did not play in 2022, Carmen's crew. They couldn't field enough players. They only went out once in the first round. That was the COVID season. Perennial contenders each and every year. In a real dogfight with their hopes of repeating on the ropes right now. Bingham will look at a three. It rims out. Chua cleans it up.
There's Neal down there wrestling with Chua after he just wrestled with Adams. It's a lot of mass to move around in a 20-second span, and Chua gets on the offensive glass. He's been outstanding doing the little things for Fail Harder.
There's a bump there from Walker. You can see why Kendrick Chua led all three NCAA divisions a couple of years ago in field goal percentage at just over 72% from the field. Gets himself into great spots also when he cleans up plays like that with an easy layup. That helps the field goal percentage.
And key to that is shoot no further than 10 feet away from the basket. But in order to do that and make it at his size, he's not huge. He's only 6'6", 6'7".
Here's Neal. Pops from straight away, no.
Again, no rim protection. You're going to switch with Chua, that's fine, but Darius Adams, as you mentioned, 36, 34 minutes, back-to-back games. Try and put him in some action and then attack the rim if you're Carmen's crew with Jamel Morris, with Eric Neal, with DeSante Bradford. They have the guys. They got to be smart with it.
There's a bump from Bradford. Neal carried the mail for Carmen's crew in the third quarter. He had 13 points, and they were +8 over Fail Harder to get themselves back in the game. But a little cooler here at the beginning of this fourth period where they've seen Fail Harder swell it back to 14. Leon Rogers wants a timeout. Carmen's crew will discuss it further. Tyler Neal and Fail Harder in a great spot right now. A look into the Wichita region where Aftershocks on their home floor. That's early on in the second quarter, trailing 23-21. Forever Cougs, who were the runners-up last year to Carmen's crew in the 24 edition, hoping to get back and make a run at that $1 million prize. This is the 12th year of the basketball tournament, and that incomparable Elam ending, which put it on the map. We have been delighted with some great basketball here alone in the Indianapolis Regional, and Tyler Neal on the left side of your screen hoping to lead Fail Harder to the three-peat over the alumni-based schools. Assembly Ball, game one. That was really the start of what you thought could be something special, the way they played in that game. Assembly Ball was one of the favorites, many thought, coming in this year's tournament. And they beat All Good Dogs, and now handling Carmen's crew, and they're handling it further because of great plays by Chua, who continues to score at will.
Yeah, his size, his speed, his strength, just going to blow right by the older Jeff Gibbs right there and get to the rim. And yeah, we thought Fail Harder, with the way they started against Assembly Ball, was going to get boat raced. They got it together real quick and haven't looked back.
Chua with the reach on Thomas. Had a very good career at Bowling Green. Mentioned his time in Belgium, but now an elementary school principal. Wanted to call him the principal. He hasn't hit a shot, though, from deep. He was hitting him, though, in the first game.
He definitely was. Hasn't quite found his rhythm here today. And chalk it up to the maybe not just being well enough conditioned for this type of scenario, but he's a baller, he's a dog, and he competes.
Chris Crawford, and the reach there by Chua, who was the conference player of the year at Indianapolis, the Greyhound. There are several on this roster for Fail Harder, D2 school. In the very beginning, Fail Harder, those players set out with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and it's coming to fruition right now in these 3 games here at Hinkle Fieldhouse.
We also got to shout out the way they put this team together. Just the front court of Price, Chua, and Kasoon-Law is so versatile. They each do something a little different. They complement each other perfectly. And then these guards are all tough to stay in front of.
Walker had it ripped away by Thomas. Not far off here from the Elam ending portion inside the last 4 minutes. There's Morris with a layup.
Well, Morris wanted a foul right there. Good hands by the principal. Finds Morris in transition, and they need him. They need Neal. They got to get aggressive. Jamel Moore's going to have to find that hot hand he found yesterday.
Well, speaking of education, we'll wonder if Phil Harder learns its lesson heading towards what could be a seismic lead in the Elam ending. And all good dogs chipped away and got back into it with their three-guard look last night, led by Shelvin Mack. It's a fourth team foul on Phil Harder and the third on Henson. 60-46 Phil Harder.
And Carmen's crew can one-up all good dogs. They can go 4 guards here. And Scott Thomas at the 5, which presents a really tough offensive challenge. Eric Neal, he's been great. He should have kicked that ahead to Jamel Morris right there.
Tough to get that off inside over Chua. Webster gobbles up the rebound. Kobe Webster for Phil Harder. Look at the hesitation and then the blow-by, but he can't finish.
Gotta push it. Go get a bucket here before the 4 minutes.
A swing, and Morris needed it, didn't get it. Price boards for Phil Harder.
Phil Harder in control, gonna dribble this out.
+8 to the leading team score at that first dead ball inside the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter. Phil Harder has led throughout.
We saw this yesterday. Phil Harder continually attacked Tyler Weidman throughout the game. And now Carmen's crew kind of on the other end of all good dogs where they should be attacking Darius Adams. Not to say he's a bad defender, but the rest of these guys they're young, they're scrappy, they stay in front of you. So the way they're switching, you got to find the weak link if you're Carmen's crew. Now that's Darius Adams.
And they're burning time here to 3:57, and they call timeout. Target score will be 68. Elam ending time coming up. Phil Harder trying to knock off the defending champs when we come back.
Fans, we have now crossed over into the Elam ending. The target score is 68. The first team to 68 wins.
Elam ending time here in Indianapolis, Hinkle Fieldhouse. We're under the 4 minute and have that stoppage courtesy of the timeout. There's no more time on the clock. Leading team score +8. Game must end on a basket. So we play to 68, and the first team to the target score wins. Fail Harder had an 11-point lead entering target score last night in the Elam ending. And watch that quickly evaporate, and a chance to win it for All Good Dogs. So let's see how they play this up comfortably for the moment at 14. They work Adams on Neal, and he goes right down to Chua, who thuds it, but the whistle came first.
Darius Adams, big body, he just backs down the quicker Neal. Neal's been pestering him all night. Adams said, man, that's about enough of that. Put you in the hole real quick, and if you're Carmen's crew, you are in the bonus. So if you can get to the free throw line, which they have not done this tournament, stop the clock and get the defense set, could be an advantage for you here.
That was Neal's third foul. Here's Adams. Saw what he liked, drove, and Price tapped it home.
Josh Price, Chua, Kasumal, they have been outstanding for Fail Harder and this front court throughout this tournament.
6 points away now, Fail Harder. There's a foul on the screen. That is the 15th foul on Fail Harder, so opportunity here with a free throw and then possession. They do that because they don't want the games to end on potentially 2 free throws, so you get 1 shot plus possession. With Tyler Neal, who's got C.J. Walker, a former Ohio State guard, on his staff. We had to laugh because we saw C.J. Walker come out. He was wearing an Ohio State shirt. Said, I kind of forgot where I was for a second, but he's getting into coaching, and the coaching staff, the depth of this team, you complimented the parts. This team is set up to go maybe even further than where that everyone thought they were at the start. There's Morris, though, with a big 3.
There you go, Jamel Morris. He can do that, and he can do it quick. We saw him hit 4 in a row after missing 4 last night. Got to the free throw line, 4-point possession. Now you got to have a stop.
Morris has hit a couple of triples, 62-50.
For Carmen's crew, you can't help but think, man, if you had Caleb Wesson right here, obviously.
Webster, that's sweet, the fall away. And then Neal scraps on the baseline. Chua going after, but Fail Harder, this is a look of a team that could be playing for the big money in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, they're versatile, the front court's there, the back court is there, and not a good foul there. A rare mistake there by Kendrick Chua. Fouls Eric Neal far from the basket, but gets bailed out on the free throw. Saw Tyler Neal still disgusted, even though he missed the free throw. Fail Harder has been so sound, so good with how they want to attack, who they want to attack. Yesterday was Tyler Weidman. Now you see every single time they're seeking out Scott Thomas. Whoever it is, doesn't matter. That's who they're identifying as the weakest link, and go make a play.
They're 4 away after the missed free throw. They keep possession. Neal, nice move. He's had a nice second half. Eric Neal.
Normally this would be for Carmen's crew, probably Jeff Gibbs' time instead of Scott Thomas, the way he can guard, but that lower leg injury hindering him a little bit. They need Scott Thomas to stand up here and guard.
This is what we were talking about. They go with 4 guards and Thomas out there. But can they stop Adams? He bullies his way downhill toward the hole. And that foul, he'll get it on Neal. That's his 4th.
Eric Neal frustrated with that call, talking to the ref, and that is a frustration that Darius Adams has given to many a guards throughout his illustrious career.
What's made him so tough a player, and why he's had so much success overseas? You cross pass a time or 2.
Yeah, I mean, his ability to score at 3 levels, and then you look at him, the strength. He's not super tall, but he's crafty. He's sidestepping around the rim. He slides off you. He can shoot the 3. He can run off Iversons. There's really no hole in his game, so there's no time to relax.
Fail Harder fans can sense it. Morris misses a 3. They're 2 points away. Fail Harder, 66-52. Is this the last hurrah for Carmen's crew? Holding that championship belt, the 2-time winners. That's tapped away by Crawford on Adams. It's a 3-on-1. Bradford to take.
Phil Harder's in a good spot here, but this is also what got them into trouble when they were in a good spot yesterday. Up double figures. Darius Adams tends to get into a one-on-one matchup. You can't do that. Just close the game out while you got him.
So Carmen's crew holding off elimination for the moment on that Bradford layup. 66-54, playing to 68. What a run for Darius Adams and Fail Harder right now. Adams was the Chinese basketball MVP in 2019, the top scorer in 2018. It's not just in China, he was the top scorer when he played in Spain and also in Germany.
Yeah, buckets translate to about anywhere. Game's about a bucket. You see the offense to defense sub. Try to go back door right there. There you go, you got Cam.
Brooks Harris with the tap away on Bingham, and Crawford takes a three. Brooks Harris the tap, and it's 4 straight for Carmen's crew. The deficit is 10.
It's surprised that Carmen's crew didn't go to Brooks Harris a little bit sooner here. But again, if you're Fail Harder, who do you attack now? I think you got to go maybe at Neal. He's a smaller guard.
Webster put it up. The throwback up by Chua, and Bingham also had a look. Carmen's crew coming out on the run. Morris.
That's everybody. You get down to the Elam ending, you want to go for style points. You saw Darius Adams trying to attack Chris Crawford. Good adjustment by Rogers to put the bigger guard on him. Not as easy to get by. So who do you attack here?
Don't look now. It's an 8-point game. Walker for the win. No. Now Neal. Walker won it last night on a tip home.
There you go. You can attack him. If you're Neal, you got the speed advantage. They gave it up.
This is 6 straight points. Morris a three. Heart of a champion from the defending champs. 66-61.
Deja vu right here. If you're Carmen's crew, don't just stay solid. Stay solid. Don't gamble. There you go.
Too aggressive Adams. He lost it. A 9-0 run. Morris. It got stuck. A wedgie.
Jump ball. That should go back to Ohio State. Or go, excuse me, Carmen's crew.
The arrow does favor them. And a timeout here. What theater, the flair for the dramatic, and everything crescendoing, and then whomp.
Well, you got to give a second here. Wherever Nick Elam is.
Let's listen into the Carmen's crew huddle and head coach Leon Rogers.
Tay, Cam, Eric, C. All right, Tay, come off, get the ball. Mel, come up. Cam, after you strip that screen, get out. All right? Tay, Mel, you come in and set that screen. Tay, get downhill. They're going to help or double. You got Mel on the backside. Let's go finish, play defense. Hey, let's go, baby, let's go. Hey, screw on 3, 1, 2, 3.
There you see it. Coach Rogers been historically good in this tournament with late game Elam ending ATOs. Look for a little dribble handoff action. You heard it right there. Get downhill. Most likely Jamel Morris or DeSante Bradford getting to that left hand.
9-0 run for Carmen's crew.
Talked about it. Fail Harder. They got to get the right shot. It isn't about style points right here.
It's happening again like it did last night against All Good Dogs. Brooks Harris fires off the three. Bradford tapped it around. Bingham comes up with it for Fail Harder. All they need is 2. Adams going the length. Adams, it's swatted by Brooks Harris.
Oh, no.
And then Kasunlal commits a foul. That's his third free throw coming for Carmen's crew. What a block from the youngster.
Cameron Brooks Harris, inserted into this game, down 12, has made 3 or 4 defensive plays, a putback. He's changed the complexion of this game because of his ability to defend.
Bradford hits the free throw.
With all due respect to the principal, Scott Thomas, they needed the defense, and I think if you're Coach Rogers, you'd love to put Scott Thomas in here, defense for offense, but you can't risk it with no timeouts.
Carmen's crew 6 points away now. Unthinkable to mention that just 2 minutes ago. But that's why the Elam ending in this portion, and Tyler Neal said, this is completely different than the end of a game in a time session in basketball.
100%. Darius Adams a little guilty about trying to play a little hero ball, which isn't what got him here. He's got to trust in the rest of his guys.
Bradford, the turnaround, in and out.
Just stay here. Oh, no.
It's last off of Neal.
They can review that, I believe.
There is the ability to review when one team is within 4 of the target score. The officials can go to review whether it's a change of possession and anything that's viewed within that frame. If there was a foul committed, they can make that call. But this is looking like just a simple change of possession review.
And you hear Leon Rogers, I think he's got it right. I think that's going to stay with Carmen's crew. It looked like Jordan Walker went over the smaller Eric Neal and knocked it out of bounds. From my vantage point, our vantage point, partner, or excuse me, maybe it was Kobe Webster.
Webster over the top.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, maybe not.
Well, it looks there that Neal has the final touch. So perhaps they did get it right in the end, but that's what this is in place for, to make the critical calls. Leon Rogers has done such a fine job at the helm. Jared Sulliger's still involved. He was here last night. He was sitting along with John Diebler, who's part of Thad Mata's coaching staff here at Butler. Even Thad Mata was up with bad back and all into the Elam ending when All Good Dogs was trying to pull it off. We've been watching the replay, and it looks like Neal did get the last touch. But we'll see what they confirm.
Yeah. Coach Mata, a real gamer, showing up for the All Good Dogs late night. Had the family out here, John Diebler as well, showing support for the Butler alum. And right here, if you're Nick Elam, we got to shout him out, man. He knows how to get a crowd jumping late in the game with this creative ending, as Phil Harder will get the ball. Was off of Eric Neal from our vantage point. Looked like Kobe Webster might have got a hand on it, but he didn't. If you're Phil Harder right here, again, they're going to leave Darius Adams on the sideline. Yesterday it was Kobe Webster they went to. It's either going to be Kobe Webster, Jordan Walker. I think you put Kasoon Lal in the action potentially with his pick and pop ability. Kobe Webster, that mid-range game of his is perfect for a shot like this.
See Darius Adams, he's sitting out with the original call on the floor, which was off Neal. All Phil Harder needs is a bucket to advance. They turn it over. Bad pass by Webster. Neal a three! All the way around and out. And the last touch, which looks like they're going to go back to the monitor to see whose possession it was. The officials did not make a deliberate call on whether it was staying with Carmen's crew. So they will check on whether Brooks Harris, who was the combatant down low on the baseline, had the last touch. We'll see where the possession stays. And what is going on with Phil Harder, more importantly, in their offensive sets? It's like stage fright now that they've gotten to this position again with a big lead in looking to close out an opponent for the second night in a row.
Well, what they've been so good at is attacking the weak links. So Coach Rogers took that away. Insert Cameron Brooks Harris, take out Scott Thomas. Not a ton of weak links out there defensively for Carmen's crew, but then they got away from what makes them so good, which is the dribble handoff. Darius Adams, as good a scorer as he is, as good a scorer as he is, it's difficult late in the game to play one-on-one with any defender, especially the refs don't want to end the game with their whistle, so it's tough to get to the rim. The mid-range in space is probably a really good option.
The score has not been this close since 2 minutes remained in the first quarter. Fail Harder looked like they were going to run away and hide after that opening half where they led by 19. They led by 14 entering the target score portion. It is Fail Harder ball. They say it was last off of Brooks Harris. So they'll have an opportunity to win it once more, but it's been a 10-0 Carmen's Crew run that has got them right back in the thick of things, and the plot has thickened tremendously here in this regional final in Indianapolis.
If you Fail Harder here, either get Kobe Webster the ball with a favorable matchup, as favorable as possible, and he's got that mid-range game, or you can get back to some of that dribble handoff or Iverson action that you run for Darius Adams. Main point is get ball and body moving and then get into a shot.
Walker defended by Morris. Kasunlal looks for Adams. Off the hesitation. Crawford defends him well. The fadeaway. Adams! Ball game!
And there it is. Darius Adams is Lance Stevenson back in the scrum, back in the celebration. That's what we wanted to see. The bucket getter Darius Adams, he finished it off, but finally they get a little floppy action, old school from Tyler Neal, and a dribble handoff, much harder to guard. You got to move a little bit and then guard Darius Adams in space.
In the crossroads of the nation, cross off the defending champs. There will be a new one at the basketball tournament. Darius Adams with the final piece of destruction to send Fail Harder, nearly flawless for much of the night, into the quarterfinals. And the final touch on that fadeaway from the baseline to win it 68-62.
You see the setup right there, just that little floppy, and then the little step from Darius Adams created separation from Crawford. Crawford recovered, but by that time, he had at least got a little rhythm, and then that fadeaway baseline jumper, we saw him take it last night, might have got fouled. But tonight, find success. Fail Harder will move on.
Fail Harder formed last year, a team that lost in the first round to All Good Dogs. They had their revenge last night. They beat the top 3 seeds here in Indianapolis. The 7th seed, Fail Harder, took down the Indiana alums, the Butler alums, and the Ohio State alumni, Carmen's Crew, who won TBT 2024. What a valiant effort, though, by Carmen's Crew. Short in defeat, 68-62. They made it interesting, but Kasunlal and Adams, and much of the measured approach for the first 3 quarters, ends up carrying them through in the end. Here's another look at the winner from Adams, who finished with 19.
And not much you can do with that. If you're Chris Crawford, really good defense on the move, as we mentioned. Sometimes, most of the time, better offense beats better defense.
Fail Harder will be back in action in the quarterfinals Sunday at a yet-to-be-determined site, but they will play the winner of the Syracuse region. Stars of Stores, the Connecticut alums, and We Are D3, former D3 college basketball players who upset Boeheim's Army 81-78. That was last night. So Fail Harder moving on to the quarterfinal. An impressive performance here at Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Darius Adams is on his way over to chat with us. A familiar spot for him. We connected after Assembly Ball. Darius Adams now with us here courtside. And the victory to Fail Harder. Well, you like to make things interesting here in the Elam ending, don't you?
Yeah, man. That's my fault, man. I made it way too hard. Got kind of winded down the stretch.
My team kept picking me up, though, so I got to keep that energy. But shout out to them, man. They fought. They kept us in the lead. They kept going, kept trying to pick me up. You know, as a leader, sometimes we need somebody else to help, you know, build us up. But, man, shout out to my team, man.
Man, you finished the game. Talk about how hard it is to close out the game in the Elam ending. Obviously, the court shrinks. I see you really wanted that last bucket. You was going for it. But talk about what it's like to, you know, to be able to do that, how you guys are approaching that situation.
Man, every possession get amplified. You know, the team that's up got the most pressure because, you know, we trying to finish the game out. It's the last 8 points. The team behind they just playing without any conscience. They doubling the ball, leaving players or whatever. Just being real active with things. So every possession is, you know, key. So, man, it's just tough trying to get those 8 points. But, I mean, we came through in the stretch, man. That's all I can say.
21 points, 24 points, 19 points for Darius Adams here tonight. But when did you get the look that this group, a lot of Indy boys like yourself who played college ball here, you're from Decatur, Illinois, you had the sense that this was a special team that could make a deep run?
Man, we got like a fraternity, man. We call ourselves the Lions Den. We got a bunch of guys who play on, you know, throughout the week and all the city league and all those type of things. So we got like a close knit. So I know these guys, man. We've been working out together with a few players around the city. So man, I'm just picking up for them. We already got the chemistry. We, you know, they say we're the underdog, but we got chemistry. So if we come out here, we got heart, we got grit, we got a chip on our shoulder, and man, we could play with the best of them. So
you can play with the best of them, that's for sure. It's been a pleasure watching you. Good luck in the quarterfinal.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all, man.
That's Darius Adams who hit the winner. Here's a look at the quarterfinal schedule. Meanwhile, Darius Adams is rambling off about his turnovers, but that will be forgotten because of what he does on the offensive end. And here's what we have for you in store in the quarterfinals. Fail harder against the Syracuse champ. Shell Shock in West Virginia. Eberline Drive, which was in the Final Four last year. And they move on after their win against La Familia. What a blast it was, Jordan Taylor, to work with you. I'm Neil Sika. We thank our great crew here from Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Fail harder moves on to the quarterfinal from Indy. Good night.